la información, sin embargo, un impacto. ¡Qué hit! 4K y el ace no.
Still with the ult into this post, and that's how it ends.
Joining me right now, we have Coach Adam. Now, Lotus was Crew's map pick, and y'all pretty much just ran away with that map. So I'm curious to know, what are the plans going into Ascent? How do you plan on keeping up that momentum?
I think that lately the team has been focusing too much into the negative stuff inside the game. And I think that today we successfully were able to just keep thinking about the positive, about things that work for us. And that's creating a really good environment in the team. So the plan is to stick like that for Ascent, and maybe we can close the series 2-0.
Awesome. Well, best of luck on map 2.
And Crew managed to take out G2. Their map pick 13-4 on Lotus. G2 had no opportunity to really get back into that series because, well, I mean, to be quite frankly, Crew never really gave them an entry to begin with. It was just the Kesnet show from the beginning, and then they just kept on adding to the pain.
Yeah, I mean, that first half was just so dominant. G2, I think, kept going for these like early A main control ideas on their defense, and Crew was owning them round after round with these fast clears. Kesnet in particular was playing incredible, and they just snowballed that first half like crazy.
Yeah, and it's because Crew kept winning the critical buy rounds, right?
Yes.
Every time G2 were down to $0 in the bank account, they're losing those rounds. And I think it wasn't until round 7 or 8 that G2 were able to win one of those and actually get a couple back-to-back. The biggest problem to me was that on some of those critical rounds in the first half, G2 had options to save with 2 or 3 players, but played those rounds out, and it just kept spiraling out of control.
Yeah, and the reason why they had to save in the first place was the proactivity on the post plants. That's something that we didn't get to touch on in the first half. But still, it was insane, the double swinging together, stuff that was really lacking these last couple of matches from Crew. And it's nice to see them have their mojo back. I guess every single time, you know, they get counted out of the punch, they just
everyone has to stop believing, right? And then they're the best team in the world. Yeah, they're the best team in the world, right? It's crazy.
It's insane.
But what you're talking about like the post-plant proactivity, that was really impressive to me. The protocols on when they were fighting forward, when they were falling back in the post was great. So much of that was Kesnet. But I think you do have to bring to the attention how often on the defensive side, Icy was getting set up to try and go for these early fights, and he was getting left really far ahead, dying first to Kesnet, and giving them these big advantages to call around in the mid-round.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation to be in because, like, I don't know if they can beat a Kesnet that's actually playing on that board. I don't know what you can do because he was absolutely dialed in from the get-go. It was an unreal performance.
And I didn't think it was possible. In the pre-show, we were clowning on like, oh yeah, Kesnet's gonna be great.
Yeah.
He's always great. But normally G2 is a lot better at shutting down star players. But today, they're having, I think, a little more issues with their microcomms. There's all these little things that compound against a Kesnet who is playing incredible Valorant, and you get a result like that.
Yeah, it's actually quite scary there if you're G2. And honestly, if you're all the talent, because let's take a look at the predictions.
It's not actually.
Yeah, it is. Here it is. Because none of us predicted Crew to do anything. And
Golden Boy,
what have you blame us?
The series isn't over.
Can you blame us, though?
The series isn't
so
over.
True. It's so
I'm
true.
gonna keep coping until I'm inevitably wrong.
Least NA copium to
No, it's actually not that much a copium, though, because G2 has had struggles in the past before with their opening maps. And I thought it was something that they solved, and that's why I was so gung-ho on this G2 roster.
But also look at the maps
they figured it out. Yeah, but these are maps that they like. But now, going into Ascent and then Split. But also, the thing with a Split is that Crew are no slouch to Split either, right? They most notably took out NRG in dominant fashion. Yeah. The only map they won. Now, can Crew actually close out a series? Because... Yeah, that's a tough part.
G2, though, they're really familiar with the comebacks, like you're saying. But I think the big question is this Ascent. They were playing the Neon last time. They did get a win there. I wasn't totally convinced on the comp, so I'm curious to what they're going to bring.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and jump over to the G2 camp and see what's going on with Josh RT and the boys as we have Geek Heavy standing by, getting ready for map 2.
All right, I'm joined right now by G2's coach, Josh RT. So it seemed like that map kind of got away from you all, so I'm kind of curious what went wrong and how do you all plan on bouncing back come Ascent?
I think we forgot how we wanted to play, and we kind of gave them openings thinking that like they wouldn't hit the shots. We weren't reading the map state correctly, and we made a lot of errors in like how we move as like a duo or a trio around the map. So I told the boys, like, let's tighten up, let's play coordinated, let's play disciplined, let's play the game that we know how to play, and we'll take map 3 or map 2 and 3.
Yeah, hopefully we'll take this to a map 3. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Real answer. Real honest answer. It was the problem. G2's striving point is always the fundamentals, and they were bad in map 1. I think that is something, though, you can lock in. We know they're good to find that mental reset. They're not out yet.
I do have one concern that I have here, which is something that we saw play out very much so is the individual capability of Crew, and we constantly talk about G2 not really having those X-factor individuals on the team. Great players on the team across the board, but you don't have that person that steps up like the way Kesnet has.
I would hard disagree because there is a man with big poofy hair named of Leaf.
Yeah, and that's fair. I agree.
I would further say that on a map like Ascent, there is another guy who usually shoots around this dart that tells you where the enemy is. Trent
Paper-thin walls.
Dominates on this map.
Fair.
I actually would go the opposite direction and say this team has a lot of players that stand out map to map.
No, that's completely fair. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, especially considering, you know, the talent that's on that lineup. I think the only reason why I said that is just because it's kind of been a point of conversation with G2 over the course of the last few months, no?
And I think what you're getting at is in the duelist line.
For sure.
The Icy, the newest player on the team, his pop-ups are a little bit less extreme than a guy like
Kesnet on the other side that's dominating every game.
He's going back to the Jet, though. I thought the Neon put him out on his own way too often to take just straight up 1v1s that he was oftentimes losing. He's really comfortable on this Jet role. It's a standard on the map for a reason. I think this is a good shift for G2.
Yeah, but so is Kesnet. Very comfortable on that Jet.
And this is his map.
And this is the problem for G2.
Some crazy Kesnet rounds. He's starting defense. If this guy gets an op, they win pistol. I mean, that, you know how scary that can be, Dre.
Yeah. Jet op on this map, it just takes over, especially on the defensive side. The problem is, Crew in general on this map, the last couple times they played it, have not looked great.
Yeah, they have not looked great, but they look great in map 1 and picked up a massive 13-4 win. Can they do the same thing here and end this series 2-0 over G2 forces to a map 3? Let's send it back over to your casters. You got Uber and Wyatt for the cast.
Only so much time did G2 have in between that first map and this one here to catch themselves, because they were reeling, Wyatt, on Lotus. Reeling.
Massive reset required for them. I have not seen G2 with as poor fundamentals as on that Lotus map in I don't know how long. I don't think perhaps this entire year, certainly not since the Stage 1 playoffs. That was very out of the ordinary for a team that I look at and think of fundamentals. I mean, a testament to that in that game was that they only converted 2 of their 7 first blood rounds. That is shocking from them, frankly. This is their map pick. It has been a tough one for Crew. And frankly, it should be a good one for them to get back in the game and take this thing to split.
G2 back to Jet, no more Neon for Icy. That was touch and go at times for them in their previous game. Here we go, set up towards B. This one going to be pretty expedient, I dare say. In behind the Aldrone. And they pull back. This is reminiscent of the Lotus play over at A.
And funny enough, this is exactly how G2 started their pistol round the last time they played Ascent against C9. Identical so far.
All but the Sova here from Crew got pulled in the direction of A after that exchange. Against NRG, Crew really took a beating in tree around this area. That's where they suffered. As FNS really unwound them round after round. That is huge info, though. Followed up with the molly. Jonah still on the back step, was able to clean up Kesnet, though, through the masonry, no less.
That man with the sheriff is going crazy today.
Up comes Trent here, now threatening that heaven pitch. He's got to eat that entirely, and he asks for seconds. Valen delivers now as Shy is going to make a little bit of noise heading to heaven, but Jonah P's not ready for it. It's Melza operating from the 7th circle there in hell. Trent deals with it. Player advantage as Shy just throws himself into this here, avoiding the recon. Now can play off MTA and Upper, but Valen in A main is going to be the undoing factor here. Now it's MTA B3 and G2. Okay, don't get ahead of yourselves. They got the pistol on Lotus and then it fell apart.
I'm not getting ahead of myself, but that was very cool from G2. They started that round the exact same as they did the last time they played Ascent. They go for this B main control, feign like they might just be fast heading into the site, and then slow pivot into an A split. Variation this time, though, was that rather going for a traditional A split through the door with a player through main, with Jonah getting that kill into tree. They actually pivot and flood through heaven, pinch the site from the front and the back. A very cool adjustment to throw Crew off, maybe thinking it was going to be the same thing that they watched from that first week.
That extra investment in Kesnet this round is going to manifest as a Marshall. He takes that over towards the B-side extremity there and holds an angle briefly before conceding it. G2, no one loves to slow it down more than they do.
Yeah, that is a fact. They like to take their time, give Valen opportunities to get a read, to make the right call, to hit that weaker site.
Just over a minute now, still to play with. Mid essentially given up here as Crew opt to try and stack the A side. Can this be read by G2? Aldrone certainly will try.
Only spots one though.
Shock Dart, though, they are starting to trend away. This will be checked, though. 2 caught inside the 0 point. G2 do know there's a heavy tree presence as a result.
Valen getting up close here.
Enough noise to wake the dead.
Shy falling off. And yeah, G2, classic round here, taking their time, working the map, finishing up mid now. Gonna pivot into B, where it's just Kesnet with that Marshall.
Left.
He's about to get more than he bargained for here, I suspect. Leaf, though, will stay embedded in mid here. I don't know if Shy's aware of this. Icy cleans him up. That Phantom brought up here, finding value. Jonah! Okay, had a chance to respond after the first shot. Kesnet's very low. Trent eventually just going to pepper him down through the wall. Leaf tries to challenge Melsa, wants that weapon badly. And he'll get it for himself. 3v3 in the post plant. Icy with the big gun. Holding that market angle. A bit of damage will take it as Heat falls after the fact to Trent's span.
Yeah, just has that lineup for the market door. Trent, so solid on this map. A real knack for using those weapons with the high bullet pen.
Oh my goodness, okay.
And there it is with the Guardian, and no doubt you were going to see that with the Odin when the side swap. I mean, maybe even picking it up on attack. It is useful for that counter spam onto the enemy Sova. That battle on B is incredibly important.
Melsa here has a crack at it at least, but Trent leaves around with a brace of 4.
Already, I love how G2 are working the map. Valen has so much experience here, and we saw another experienced IGL, FNS on NRG, just working Crew, making their defensive side look.
Yeah, he always had a timing through mid or to tree or something like that. If anyone can sort of reciprocate or match that rather, Valen's the guy.
Absolutely. Crew really need to step things up from their performance that they just had on Ascent the other day. Their defense was their weaker side.
And Kesnet couldn't get in that game either. So far, he's been astounding on Lotus.
And I'm really looking to see a lot more variation in their setups, a lot more proactive taking of those extremities. That was something that they were lacking in that previous game, no doubt.
They tried to take an op there on occasion, but didn't really work out for Crew. Melsa here.
It looks like they want a pop flash for him to re-clear.
Risky business, yeah. He actually gets staved off with only 35 points of health left. Not really a great spot here to refresh that one way. He might save it for main to buy a bit of time. Leaf, though, could he take him down through the middle part of the map here. Hunter's Fury getting thrown out. Icy trying to get ahead of it now. Kesnet, though, what a timing out of tree. Not bad. Now 3 versus 3 as MTA tries to hold his ground. Even as it gets. Kesnet, a little low, gets a tickle from that shock as well as the wall comes down. We want none of it. He'll break through that instantly. Giant descends from heaven now. Trent in an ugly spot. 2 for the killjoy, and Crew on the board.
Nicely done, Crew, with so much pace getting back into that site, not giving an opportunity at all for G2 to try to scale in there, get the spike down in a safe spot. Kesnet with that pick onto mid, though, finding Leaf, you know. Obviously, frankly, everyone should have an idea in a situation like that. The KJ will be in tiles. They'll be walking towards mid on the A hit. I mean, we've seen this millions of times at this point on professional Ascent play.
I feel like the epicenter of this defensive setup for Crew really is around Kesnet and Heat, who do want to play towards that tree side, and Kesnet wants to, you know, move between mid and maybe even heaven if he gets an op. Those two pivotal here to Crew's strategy.
MTA now the one picking up the Guardian over towards B. Again, it's all about that high bullet pen, finding opportunities to spam through that wall, deal damage, get a kill if you're fortunate.
They did get an alarm bot towards mid this time, Crew, so Kesnet probably doesn't need to be nearly as vigilant as he's being about that part of the map. He's determined to jump spot it.
Shy here just playing contact off the turret. Common for the defensive B main hold.
Very cheeky. Right in the Owl drone, the Sova was affected. Okay, 0 point doesn't really tell anything new to G2. Just that the Omen is over towards that tree side. Now burst of speed from them here. Ready for a dash from Icy, and he goes across. Looking to test that switch, maybe. 2 players grouped up in Boathouse now, and Kesnet might be able to find a push out of CT here. Looks like through smoke he dealt with Jonah. Here come the reinforcements, but they're all grouped up in CT, our crew.
Waiting for that paranoia to scale out. Nelson with only a judge, though. How does he get in range to actually get a kill? He will swap it out. Fortunate for him, but still 3v4. Also fortunate for crew. No one to deal with in B main. They're going to clear that. They get the info.
That's the last flash, but well used to make sure they're not going to get backstabbed. Still a bit of time to work with here. But Kesnet doesn't really have anything to work with. Molly in a Boathouse. That's not going to be bothering G2 whatsoever. They're happy to split around that one. Kesnet gets one. Forced away. Melsa on the side, pushed up, one smoke to the right-hand side of Boathouse means that G2's options for swings are limited. It's Melsa giving it a touch. Kesnet approaching now at 40 HP. Liquids it out. It's all up to Kesnet. And they hold it down. G2 under extreme pressure. Convert the round.
Leaf going to go down to the spike at the very end. Will have some significant damage to their economy from that one. But overall,
what choices he got? Got to stick around for that. Crew were going to go down with the ship happily.
G2 did such a nice job just immediately dealing with the 2 players in backside. No opportunity to find any kills.
And they opt to contact. They contact clear B main with the, or rather they opt not to. They use the flash instead of maybe having it for the site later. They had nothing util-wise later on.
Crew are just going to take a walkabout down mid. One way was sent from Melser over towards A. Standard from them. It's going to be a pop flash with
so standard. This is so crew. Oh, we're on a save? Better go mid.
Enemy tag.
Yeah, crew love fighting from mid on this map, whether it be flashing out of a smoke like that with multiple players peeking, or even more commonly is a lot of times they'll go for 2 players in mid and that duo of Heat and Melser that you're going to see playing tree.
They'll do it here
and over. They'll swing out on Cat. They just like to find these aggro timings. It's not complex with the utility. Maybe it's a heat flash. Oftentimes it isn't. It's just finding that moment where they feel comfortable fighting together. They know they have the firepower to do it. And when they're at their best, they have more than enough confidence to do it as well.
Okay, fast hit behind the null command here. Not exactly reinventing the wheel at G2, but it's quite effective. Here comes Icy. Only good for the one, and the pistols for crew are starting to sing. Now, though, Trent tries to slow things down. Melsa from Heaven could be an issue. He's forced to back away, but MTA catches him out of Jonah down inside null command.
30 seconds left.
So Leaf has to come in. There's no chance to bring the KO back into the fight. This is a bona fide 1v2 as G2 are at risk of getting thrifty. Leaf is pinged out. Nana Swarm into the back of the site. Goes over the head. Leaf can't get through yet. Spike not to hand. The money's not great here either for G2, and he still tests it. Leaf feeds himself to the beast.
Crew have been destroying G2 upon their entry into this A site, have not found success there. It's that active fighting from them. Backside running out of Heaven. Just swarming the players at Gen. When they've been on that site, G2 haven't even been able to tap the spike, haven't been able to be in a position to even think about planting it.
Finally, that early momentum in this map for G2 has run out. They may be able to bring a single hero rifle into this round, but otherwise their economy has been stunted. They do at least, Wyatt, pick up 3 attacking rounds here after winning the pistols. Not all doom and gloom, but crew have finally managed to get themselves into the saddle.
And in their last game, crew, when they were up against NRG on defense, they were really not active enough. They weren't fighting for a lot of extremity control. When it was a situation like that with, NRG hitting into A, they weren't fighting them as aggressively as they're fighting G2 right now. They've really taken some lessons from that game and are applying them so far. That being said, with G2 already 3 on the board on Ascent attack, only 5 rounds deep into the game, they are off to a good start regardless. You don't need a ton of rounds on attack here to win out. Typically is that defender's favored map.
Some key ultimates on the horizon here for crew. Hunter's Fury, null command, lockdown, all crucial and all build-arounds when it comes to your winning strategies.
Leaf going to have just enough to get a hero guardian here, actually. Hasn't been able to do much so far in this series, and for the most part has been on a heater in stage 2. Always a standout for the G2 squad. But so far it's true, they've just had a read on him, like that round where Kesnet just caught him with ease on his attempts to go for that lurk, a backstab and a post plant. Maybe this is a round where he can get things started, that lone rifle.
So here it is again. Early probe at A, take alt orb, then pull out. Couple players posted up in mid here for G2. They're hoping to capitalize on Crew trying to contact peek out of Cat.
Pretty standard setup here from Crew, but it is effective. It's standard for a reason. Again, that turret to take contact, but rather than someone swinging close B main, when it takes contact, MTA, Odin in hand, ready to just spam down those players in B main.
Okay, they know he's there, but the Guardian with the high pen isn't here right now for G2. Oh, buddy! This could get ugly. Jonah riddled with bullets there. Kesnet, he has a timing, and that's the gun taken away from G2. The one they were hoping to capitalize on here. Kesnet now just gets to cut a bloody swathe through the remainder of G2. And Dread wants to run for the hills. Kesnet wants none of it.
He makes the smart decision, Mitch.
Self-preservation instinct kicks in.
And it's about damn time because, listen, there are a lot of moments with Crew over the past couple weeks where Kesnet has looked to be reverting to the old him, where he's doing way too much, taking way too many risky fights. And makes the better call there. I thought he was about to just dash in and into eco players, but he does not. That's a good sign.
The shoulder angel finally had his attention for long enough.
He chose the light path. Nicely done from MTA there. There's something to be said for G2 struggling to break these recon darts and aunts though. My god, that's another one that gets so much value against them.
And they're looking awfully readable. Crew are at least able to make a lot of the right choices. That late timing there from Kesnet to find a flank was huge.
Knife going to be sent out, but actually Kesnet is just able to get outside of the range.
Face, they take out Leaf. 1-for-1, Kesnet in danger, and Icy brings him down. Okay, G2's duelist gets a little piece of the action. Now straight over towards the side, he gets in. Only MTA through CT, and that smoke will stymie him for now.
Tagged up as well, Stray.
Got to be a Hunter's Fury play, right?
Just going to fall out of there. Yeah, if he can get the tag, he might try to even things up. Maybe this recon will reveal a G2 player.
Will G2 break the ball?
Susceptible.
Here we go. One tag comes out. MTA now under some pressure. Oh, this could be rough. Trent wins it out. That's a matchup we want to highlight over the course of this map. The two Sovas going out at MTA with far less experience under these conditions. What, 41 rounds of Sova played before this match. And Crew down to 2 players now, and something we didn't see enough from G2 was the save. Something Crew may be considering here, but the money is very good for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at the state of the economy. So good for Crew. Dismal for G2. Kills really matter.
They've got to get out. Them. They've got to get out with these guns. They need them.
Player standing.
And yeah, the spike will go up, but Jonah's likelihood of getting out of this alive, slim. Just playing at the edge of the explosion. One gun at least brought in as G2 get back in the lead.
Of course, you're never going to be satisfied to lose the gun round, but a small consolation prize is putting G2 on this awkward bye. And if Crew can win this following round, they're going to be able to send them on to a full eco.
And Kesnet's playing that differently now. He used to have a turret to take contact for him around logs, and he would play B-Man against NRG, but he could always overpush multiple times in that series. Now they're playing back, also playing off his teammate. So a bit of a variation there for Kesnet that's much safer, much more effective.
Yeah, it was another situation where he actually tried to get out. Shy tried to get out. He just got caught by Icy at that.
And then Kesnet repeaked
second.
it. That's the sussy part, I think.
It definitely is. Here's MTA with that Odin once again. You mentioned that Sova matchup. You know, the agent that most people would associate Trent with. It's the one that he burst onto the scene with years ago. Has always been one of the top Sovas that we've got in North America. And MTA new to the role. This man has only played 40 rounds of professional level Sova in his entire history. Going to need to step up massively. Looked uncomfortable against NRG. Ill-timed utility. Missed recons at times as well.
Enemy mark.
Drone here looking for mid. Looks like Heat was tagged up and forced off of it. So 3 players over at A for Crew for the time being. Heat surely wants to beeline over towards this site. Is now about to feel some pressure. Okay, TP in from Melz, so they've reinforced it. Lockdowns for both sides.
Counter lockdown is nice. Will G2 try to accelerate to break it? It looks like they will. If they wasted too much time, though.
They didn't hit Shy with the paranoia. Oh, that could have gone way worse. Still Shy finds 2. All right. Well, the lockdowns are gone at least. Nobody caught by those. G2 with 2 players to swarm over B with. Now operating from a disadvantage.
Null command is popped. Heat has 1 flash available as well. Kesnet with the operator. Love that little switch. Melzer, the weak player with the op. Bogdan's Law.
Volley here thrown over towards Boathouse, I think. I like the idea. Melzer misses the shot. That could hurt them crucially. Eventually, IC is going to be brought down, though, as Leaf can't really find purchase on his swing. And it tends to fall apart there for G2. Maybe overheating slightly defensively.
A little moment of indecision, perhaps. You know, accelerating to try to break that lockdown, but they wasted a few seconds. Shy posted up and ready. MTA swinging to stairs, fighting together against those G2 players pooling out of main. Those couple seconds of hesitation might have been their undoing. It was an awkward situation for them. And it was an awkward situation created by Shy, a player who I feel is pretty underrated and has been stepping up anchoring the B site so far.
G2 have clawed 4 attacking rounds here. Now down onto a weak buy. Love a little more coming out of this half.
Crew trying to play a bit of a bait setup here. Melzer inserted into Wine, one-way smoke down, going to peek off of it. And G2 will back up. That bad weaponry, at least for now, waiting it out.
Jonah has the molly for this. Melzer has to move quick. I think they need to swing on this defensively. They do. He catches out Train. Here comes the dash. Jonah P deals with the Omen. Kesnet, though, waiting patiently with the operator. Tough position to break for the defenders.
And that was a rare whiff in this series for Melzer. Really been on fire so far. Should have had at least 1 for free. It's going to give 1 rifle away to G2 as they reposition, working towards catwalk, smoke deep mid. Are they going to venture forward into mid, try and break that alarm bot? Because right now it's the signifier for Crew that there won't be a B split, that this is still headed towards A. Heads up from Jonah to break that.
If he breaks that door, though, it does leave the possibility of a market play open and might draw some Crew players away from A. Shy will check this manually. He sees nothing. Kesnet, they will wait. This is just raw contact from Icy. It could go wrong, but smoke comes up. Operator stifled for now, and Icy found Heat there. Very low health. This is G2 trying to get value out of that Vandal. Leaf now on the side, has to plant his feet, but Shy drops down.
Spike down A.
And it's Jonah with 5 HP to save it, and he only has a pistol. That's that.
And again, Crew are so fast at getting back in on A, not even giving them an opportunity to tap the spike. Their play on that site has been lights out so far. Despite G2's nice little mid-round call from Valen to break that alarm bot, then work towards Cat. Shy is back in so fast.
The idea is fine, right? They embed Icy in Wine with the recovered Vandal, and he tries to find a play through A main.
Quick peeks now.
Has the cloud burst to avoid the op shot, gets a kill, but that's it.
A lot on the line for G2 in this round. Everything invested. Trent with the Odin. Counter spam ideas from him.
What?
Oh! And Kesnet, outrageous shot.
Revealing area.
Shouldn't be possible, and yet here we are. Shy wants to push up now behind this recon. Tara's going to take contact. He should have been ready for that. A Trent was able to find 2 somehow. The spray is good. Now smoke towards CT. Kesnet could have had the shot there, but he's flashed off the angle. Surely not 2 smoke shots. That will be too much. 3 Crew players fall in quick succession as G2 lean into the B site.
And it's just the B site where success has been found for them. Unfortunately, you know, save for Shy making a nice play, anchoring effectively, they just have not been able to lock this site down like they have over on A. You know, perhaps trying too hard to anchor the site, not playing for for those aggro floods, trying to fight when G2 are getting out of main. That was the one round where they did win, when they did exactly that. For the most part, this anchoring has struggled for them. How the hell did Trent get through there? I want to see that on the replay.
It may have been a double swing that ended up being a lineup. I mean, if you're shy, you have to know that Turret's going to take your contact there. You should be ignoring it. But he had his crosshair set maybe for like an updraft of Icy on top of that position. Not sure. There will be a save for Crew. The money's getting a little skinny. And they recover the operator dropped by Kesnitz.
And frankly, at this point, even if Crew take the final 2 rounds, content with this for G2. 5 is enough on this attack. I mean...
Okay, buddy. Yeah, they line up.
Lotto, but yeah, it's just a lineup. That's really tough. Trying to go for that active B main play and getting caught completely. They haven't found the answer for that site. Their proactivity in main has failed. They've been getting caught. Even when they got a first kill with Kesnit, he gets caught, Shy gets caught. The active plays and the anchoring have been tough for them.
0 points exchange over a day. I think only one player between the two. Lit. Now down mid is the focus for G2. They haven't been clearing the alarm bot with the shocks. That's something NRG were able to do routinely against Crew. They'll do it the old-fashioned way. Hail of bullets accounts for it. Smoke towards CT, which Shy will probably just pass through there. Kesnit from Speedway catches Icy on the fadeaway.
Shy gets backside as well. The support quickly. Kesnit caught.
The duality of Kesnit again rears its head.
And look at this patience from G2, just controlling the space. They don't accelerate off that pick.
This noise cut is so excruciating for Crew.
Yeah, just keeping options for themselves. Waiting for that smoke to regenerate, and now MTA is cut off.
They don't have a smoke for Market, though. It doesn't seem to matter. MTA got blown to smithereens as he stood in CT. But Shy held that Speedway angle. Now hoping to double up with Melsa. It's just the 2 of them for the time being. Help is on the way, though. He needs to get there. In goes Melsa. Can't win that one.
Player standing.
Valen can't afford to bring the KO back, though. He'll have to settle for the spike here in a 1 versus 1 with 20 to play. He has all his util.
One enemy remaining.
Here it goes. Valen steps out of the molly here. Has to find a swing from Dice. He makes some noise. And Valen capitalizes.
Fantastic from the IGL. Not only does he lead the team with such expertise on these attack halves, working the map, calling a nice slowdown like he did in the mid-round, waiting for that smoke to regenerate, to cut off that angle in spawn, making the right plays individually, so consistently.
Kesnit's trying to project anger against his shoulder ranger with that shot.
30 seconds left. Go. One enemy remaining.
Such a close miss.
And again, getting caught out by something that G2 weren't doing on Lotus effectively. But there they do, just a nice double face. The fundamentals looking cleaner for them on their map there.
Now one way, of course, is up for Crew here. G2, though, don't fully respect it. So TP across the way. Standard protocols here at the start of the round in A main.
A new setup for Crew, though. This operator watching towards A main. Kesnit tucked pretty close. So it's the noise cut here from G2.
And there's a lot of ways to break that crosshair placement here, to be fair. Drones for both sides getting up here. Leaf knows there'll be an alarm bot, clears that instantly. Does he blow the door open? Certainly weighing it up.
G2 do such a nice job of denying that alarm bot, breaking that utility, which just gives their IGL even more options.
That's Leaf classic for you. Finds the timing up mid every time. Turret thrown in his wake now. Here's that defensive lockdown. Can they clear it? It's Icy pushing up to Shy, able to get rid of him. And yes, the TP in there for Valen clears the lockdown.
30 seconds.
A full strength G2 now up against the last 3 for Crew to get their 7th attacking round on a set.
Leaf playing close. Trent ready to swing for him. Icy ready to swing for him.
How do you lose this?
I mean, you just don't. Kesnit with an AWP. There's no way to retake this. G2 certainly going to get 7 on the board. Phenomenal attack half. the team do so much good work for Valorant to allow him to just make fantastic calls on all of these rounds. It was only towards A where Crew were finding success. And 5 on defense, you just can't imagine that's going to be enough. A tall hill to climb when the sides swap.
Melsa here, just letting it settle in a little bit. The reality, the Crew only able to get those 5 defensive rounds here on Ascent. Rarely a good omen. We'll say that much.
Switching sides.
G2 with a great burst of speed, something that we didn't see from them at all at Lotus. They're decisive on that B take to clear the lockdown.
Certainly not. The fundamentals are looking better. They're starting to look way more locked into the game now. This is their map pick. It's been a tough one for Crew in stage 2. So far, Trent, no doubt, winning that duel of the Sovas. The experienced Sova versus the Sova with only 41 rounds played professionally.
Last player standing.
Could learn a thing or two from Trent, one of the best that we've got in Americas.
Quick break now. A nightmare, of course, to start for G2. They've recovered significantly here on Ascent. Can they even up the series? We'll find out after this.
Welcome back, everyone. And there's those questions about how is the IGLing looking like? How's the communication looking like? I got the chance to listen to the Crew voice comms to see how they're doing on that map of Ascent. And I can tell you guys that it is pretty much what Adam said. Melser is having the last call on those decisions, on a general idea as well at the beginning of those rounds. And then everybody else is adding into the general idea. Oh, let's add this as well. Let's do what we did in the round before. Let's also be aware of these little things. And that's the way that the communication is going to work. Also, Kesnet is maybe the most vocal in those mid rounds. You see him always very animated. And when you see towards the end of the rounds, the Vice Merchant seems to be a little bit of shy. And also MTA celebrating all those rounds, also making sure that if something went wrong, they're able to fix it for the next one. One more thing as well, MTA and Shy are working a lot together, so you get the chance to see them having the communication in between them as everybody else is having the general idea of those rounds as we talked about. There's some cool ideas there. The vibes are good, I can say, and Melser 100% the IGL on those big rounds and big decisions. This is everything that I have. Let's send it back to the casters for the second half.
Thank you very much, Dan Dryad. And now we have a great chance to put this calling by quasi-committee for Crew to the test. Tackside Ascent, one of the toughest challenges for your calling game in general. G2 managed to navigate it with grace. Now it's up to Crew.
That never leaves the pool. It's a map where IGLs have so much experience, can excel. We saw Valen do just that.
Such a wrinkly map. Never leaves the pool, man.
Turret instantly broken in B main. No defenders trying to swing off that. Big pressure on Leaf now.
Okay, Recon's going to be pinging Kesnet out. He needs to retreat to Logs under pressure. Leaf takes a crack at it, forces away from Melser. But it's going to be Trent exploding from stairs. Kesnet, though, bites his time. Was able to find 2 from Logs in the end. It's 3 HP left on Melser, but Kesnet, oh, he won't be denied.
Spike planted.
16 for 7 already in this map, despite being down. Icy and Lone Duelist.
What a great way for Crew to build up some buffer, having less of a successful campaign on the defensive side of this map. Good way to get back to parity here with a pistol round win.
Yeah, fantastic start. I love that position from Kesnet while the rest of the players are storming into the site. Just plays a bait position in Logs, expecting G2 to try to flood quickly out of that CT smoke. That's exactly what they did. Waited for a sound cue of a flash coming through. Swings at the perfect time. Lovely play. Expecting G2's moves perfectly. All classics for G2.
Valon here still wants to try and at least signal some strength at A. But Crew don't really seem to care.
Pushing right past that one-way smoke.
Kesnet has full armor and a Vandal, by the way. Another day at the office for your superstar from Crew. Steps away from that recon now, and he might look to challenge Trent. A little bit of damage, he's happy with that, sidesteps it. And now Crew will embed themselves in the site. Ready to draw bloods. Great molly. Oh, Trent just ate that for breakfast.
Flash as well, just for further delay. G2 would be happy with any damage here, but it's not looking likely. Because they're building close to those knives already. Going to be cleaned up with ease, but it's after this anti-eco that the real test will begin for Crew, the test for their calling style with all the players contributing. We've talked so much about it. It's been such a massive shift for them. And against Valon, one of the toughest tests you can get for it. Such a fantastic IGL.
But not so far in this series, really, if you at least consider Lotus. We did not see G2 really look decisive at all. They really took the initiative. They gave up so much of the map. Let's see how they look here on what ostensibly should be a bit more of a comfortable setting.
And already Trent is on that Odin. Part of the reason that they just go with the classics. Look at the damage on the shot. Gets caught on the cross. Just a sixth sense from Trent for the jump timing to safety.
Yeah, you move a muscle and Trent has that itchy trigger finger.
Okay, they've come up mid though, so through market, Crew have access to the B side. It's 2 G2 players entrenched in Boathouse. The rest of them on the way. Taking their sweet time though. This is pretty sluggish from G2. Putting a lot of stock here in Trent to hold this ground, and well, the fight gets taken to them. Now it's a little awkward. G2 with 3 to play with from outside of the site. Valon may as well be in a different bloody postcode.
Spike planted.
Absolutely ran over the paranoia from Meltzer. Maximum value. Just caught back Boathouse. SMGs at a range like that work perfectly fine, running and gunning.
Call that the We Did Special.
Economy on the line for G2. Do they commit? We saw them in situations like this on Lotus. Indecisive. Do we save? Do we go for it? This time, they opt to save, opt to not get caught, and bring the rifles into the next. Bonus round converted. Rifles recovered as well. Those SMGs exchanged for the higher level weaponry. And Crew are off to such a hot start on their attack.
Away they walk. Crew have managed to clamber back now into the driver's seat of this game. And how easily did they just waltz up mid through market, make that B split happen? G2 again giving up a lot of the map.
So much free space, so much reliance on the anchors back there, and frankly, yeah, you've got Trent with the Odin back sight. Leaf, you're going to expect those two guys to pop off. Trent runs this map. Look at this, the run and gun, the shock dart. Even if Meltzer goes down, MTA was right behind Leaf. G2 saved for this round. They saved those 3 weapons for this.
3 suppressed.
3 spotted in towards A main. One way stepped past. Heaven will be reinforced here, at least for Trent, but he's only working with a Sheriff.
And Leaf is pushed all the way into B main, so you can see G2, they are stacked and ready for this A hit from Crew.
Jonah tried to take a time in there to flash himself out of the smoke, playing off the paranoia that came in from Crew. It was all a ruse.
Utility dragged out now from the defenders as Crew, they fall off.
This is G2-esque.
Work back towards Shy, who's just been patiently controlling B main. Leaf had that space earlier, but he's backed off. He's playing off of the turret contact.
Okay, so Trent does have a feeling that something's headed towards B, but G2 don't have ways of getting great info on that A side.
And how much support can he really offer? He's got the recon, gets broken, only has a Sheriff, only 65 HP.
Looked to hold that line passively, but was forced away ultimately by a Nano Swarm. Okay, 2's pretty good. 2 is pretty good. Now Crew, trend back towards market. They want to stay here and fight. And fight they will. MTA forced to get away from this one.
And that's a nice double face there from Jonah and Icy to find another in lane. Reposition from Shy, getting close, but gets caught from the knife. Jonah P's utility, always so consistent.
MTA full flash there. Shy not so much. Hit there though through the top of the matrix. This is ugly stuff, and G2 get it done. They realize that Crew want to fire on the site. They realize Crew actually aren't planning. They're 3 stacked on Speedway looking to fire towards market. So G2 back away and say, no, go plant first, then talk to us.
Now that is some outlandish activity from Leaf though. Anchoring back there. I mean, that should not be happening. What is that? 4 headshots with the Stinger close up. Strafing with Mouse 1. Hey, held down.
We just saw Melsa pull something similar off in the previous round. Yeah, sigh of relief. I don't blame you.
Just like that, they are right back into the game. Crew's Economy, though, the beneficiary of that bonus round win, so they're going to be able to buy up into this one, buy up into the next as well. Trent has the Odin back, a bit of a weapon upgrade from that Sheriff he was stuck with on the previous. So pretty standard setup here now from G2 as there's that one wave. Ooh, there's that knife and aiming. Valen is facing it. I mean, how many first bloods has Melser got in this series?
Melser was the only player on that side of the one-way, though. That is audacious from him, and it pays off. Here comes the push. Icy backs away. Hit with a paranoia, so a cloud burst to buy him a bit of space, but he's lit by the recon. Still good for the spray down on Heat. He's down to 11, though. Dash across the site. No. Met by MTA, but from heaven comes Leaf, and Melser now wants to try and accost him directly. But the Outrone's going to slow it up a bit. 2 versus 2 here. So much early action in this round. And Trent still has an Odin to play off. Leaf is 10 HP, Wyatt.
One shock dart for Trent. Leaf just catches Melser.
I got the spike.
Shy in the 1v2. Leaf low on HP.
Only a shot for Trent. No one at Gen. That was a off-angle plant here for Shy. Now into hell he goes. G2 have to unravel this. A game of Clue to find where Shy is waiting.
And how do they play this together? Does Leaf throw his life away? Just a little juicy piece of bait for Trent to trade off of. Just a little to cycle that recon.
A little amuse bouche for Shy. Oh, buddy, that's not good now. Down to 17. Shy could have had it. It was right there. But Trent is there for the follow-up. And as you said, Leaf serves himself up for the kill.
Scrappy, sloppy for a moment from G2. Those 1v1s being taken. Melser's so clean right now. Icy trades one back, but then maybe saying for a little bit too much as Jonah. Regardless of all that, though, I appreciate the speed that Leaf and Trent were able to get there. Leaf, he did get that first trade to even it up 2v2 as well. That was the crucial one. That's a high-impact kill.
And what did G2 do about the fact that Crew are routinely disrespecting this A-main one-way smoke? They are pushing past it.
Yeah, they just do not care. You can see them. They're trying to fight it aggro, though. You know, perhaps a pop flash to fight it would have been a bit better. Just that tight angle being held. And there it is. They are fighting it way more aggro. There's that flash. But even still, you know, given up and relocated towards Catwalk. They want to apply pressure elsewhere with this operator.
Oh, dangerous. No chance for a trade either. Icy drops that operator to the ground. And Kesnet says, is there no one else?
And then slowing things down now, our Crew. Can't be mad at that. Smoke is going to go down mid. You know, feign that there could be a cross back to B even. Kesnet just stands his ground where he killed Icy previously. G2, they are expecting this pressure on Cat. They've got a bait set up for Jonah in the corner.
Oh! Captain by captain, it's Valen for 2. Jonah still hasn't revealed himself yet either. Sees Melser across. He's got to fight too, and he's done. It's beautiful. It's a masterclass.
Biding his time. So patient.
It's just MTA now. Shock in his wake. And that on the faces of the Crew fans here. As they threaten to let another one go begging, and it's Trent once more to deliver the death blow.
And G2 finally coming to life on this defense. Listen, sometimes you just take a convenient little spray through the smoke like Valen did, but I love that Jonah didn't press the issue.
Was he ahead of it?
You're watching, did just get a little bit of info there on Kesnet. But the fact that Jonah allowed the res to come through That is a great sell. They had no expectation he'd be there after that. I mean, sure.
He's padding his stats. What are you saying?
Sure. Yeah, just allowing him to get res. Sorry, Valen. That one's mine. VLR looking good for Jonah. Now, that is such nice work from them. Despite Icy going down early, despite that first blood from Kesnet.
The patience here from G2. Kesnet was waiting for them to try and trade, make a later peak, expecting G2 or hoping that they'd maybe start to get nervous with the lack of info they have about mid in general, but they had Trent set up. He actually, I think, lights Shy with a recon. So G2 don't feel the need to overheat, to rush, they wait. And that patience that's so characteristic of this squad, again, pays off.
And the thing is, though, with Crew throwing down that smoke in mid, feigning a potential crossback to B, that makes it quite unlikely that they're going to go for a B split, right? That they're actually going to be pushing up mid, otherwise it would have gone deep.
You're not going to push the smoke, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, kind of giving unintentionally a bit more of an idea for Valen to call to just maintain that setup towards A. There wasn't pressure from them in B main either, so, you know, despite that man advantage, they perhaps make it a little bit too clear-cut to Valen, and I mean, definitely so with that setup. Let's see what G2 are going to do now towards A on this round. It looks like they're going to have a deep recon, and if that connects with anyone,
right here,
Trent is going to pop that Hunter's Fury, try to get an early kill.
Very passive, though, for Crew early here. Okay, Icy is well forward. That's one way, I guess, to try and answer that early A-man aggression from Melza.
And it's actually Trent with the AWP, who after the recon just rotates to mid, picks up the angle, but will be smoked off. The alarm bot will be broken too. So Crew applying some big map pressure right now.
Re-clear with the Aldro.
Lockdown going to go in on B. Valen had actually pushed up into A main and is now going to TP back B. Cancels.
Crew have market though. Kesnet might have had a timing here. He's trying to get ahead of it. He was hoping for the window between the two lockdowns to give him the space to deal with Leaf as he returned to the side. It doesn't happen, but Kesnet is still set up in a powerful spot at market here. Oh no. Oh no! They're not ready for it! 2 for Leaf there. The Odin sings out to Funeral Dirge for Crew. They got onto the site though.
Yeah, access to the site for Crew, but here comes that Hunter's Fury, going to go a little bit wide. Shy was trying to plant in an unusual spot to his favor. He will survive, he won't get tagged. And now a smoke cycle for Melzer will go down onto spawn. Do they want to play forward? Yeah, they do. That's MTA getting aggressive. The new man for Crew pushed up close, trying to make the play.
Shadows traveling.
Valen's about to get busy here. MTA's good for it. Very clean work. Now from CT, the only direction that G2 could come from, and that's the second for MTA. Racking him up. He and Melzer have the crossfire. No need to go aggressive, and yet he wants to. Jonah P, what? For 3!
Oh no, they try to double swing. They get so aggro, and G2 were trained on the angles, crosshairs in the right spot. It was G2 to be forced to make a move there, yet it was
What is to stop Crew from just holding that crossfire and waiting?
Oh, absolutely nothing. MTA already made such a great play. This push-up totally caught Valen off. Look at that onto Icy. Prediction, seeing the dash. And then it's a 3 versus 2. Oh, look at that from Jonah.
Nice! Jonah!
Starting to see some excitement from Icy, who in the first map was head in hands.
Talk about letting the game come to you. That is exactly what G2 want in a situation like that. And Crew, those old tendencies, bubble to the surface at a pivotal moment. Still a buy here, but not much else to work with. Shy, already down to 87, no armor. Doesn't matter, he can still click.
Completely caught off. Kesnet just barreling through tree.
All right, Icy and Valen try and turn up the heat here, but now it's down to 2. Jonah again, getting involved. Nice for Kesnet. Spike out in A main. Kesnet needs to cross the gap. 1 is good. Has the dash away for the second. And has those knives put away for the time being. Oh, buddy. Just a pistol. 1v2 for Jonah.
And some things are inevitable. Despite Crew being down, winning or losing, Kesnet is just going to drop a bomb. He's 20 and 11. What a shot that was with the Blade Storm.
Turret takes contact for Shy, but Jonah doesn't overswing it. Time now for a rotation for Crew towards B, but they stay at A instead. The knives are there, but Shy is 1 shot quicker. Crew get one back. Not a moment too soon either.
Yeah, nice double face, Jonah undone. Fair attempt from him. What shots from Kesnet? I mean, he was sending it through tree, full aggression. Shy catching Leaf on the walk down. They're not out of this just yet. It's been a tough half. G2 looks stronger right now on this map. A Crew are clawing. They are fighting. They are looking better than they did previously on Ascent. They are rising to the occasion, keeping this close on G2's pick.
It's been close, though. G2 won 4 rounds in a row, and after losing just the one, they're already down to a half buy. Their economy being taxed round after round after round. So Crew have a chance here to convert once more. Melsa! Oh, buddy! No one expects that push to Gelato from G2. What a variation.
That is totally new from them, playing off of that recon to get so deep in that position. And look at this, already 3 stacked up for these players.
Not this time, Jonah P. Not this time, buddy. VALORANT able to trade it back at the very least here and leave through the middle part of the map. He says, can I get an upgrade in weapons? Can I get there? Got himself a Vandal.
We're down to a 2 versus 2 again. Heat has some quality utility to play with a flash and that Molotov. And look at the reposition. This is lovely from Crew. Flipping the site, playing from heaven. No way Trent expects this.
His glass cannon anyway. Tough fight to win on the best of days. And Leaf decides to repeat. Both players for Crew set up in heaven now. Leaf is unarmored, lightly armed. Only the turret to work with here. Nothing but a dream. An MTA plunges the dagger into the heart. Crew find their 10th round.
They're playing with such a decisiveness on the attack right now that I love to see from them. Oh, and Meltzer trying to jump, he just gets caught. But it's that decisiveness that they lacked previously, that they lacked in their first 2 matches of Stage 2 on attack, where this IGLing, free-flowing system between all of them just often, you know, brought them to a situation where they were do we slow down? Do we hit? It was so disjointed, but right now it feels like whoever it is that's making the call, they are sticking to it. They are putting their foot on the gas. You know, they are working their way into A there. They're following the plan that is called. There's no counter calling. And perhaps even if there is a situation where that is coming up, Meltzer, the one with that final say, is putting his foot down immediately, and they are sticking to it.
G2 there at least trying to keep a bit of a lid on the economy of Crew, as that's now 2 consecutive rounds that they have won, and G2 say it's time to take a sidebar. And what you can't see is that, at least for now, they have brought an operator into the hands of Icy, something we haven't seen a ton of yet. They are going to be essentially full bought, just with light armor on quite a few of their players.
Odin is going to be there for Trent as well heading into this, but I'm really looking at the state of the alt economy here. There are none online yet, but players just on the cusp of getting them. Crucially, MTA 1 away from the Hunter's Fury.
Jonah P2.
Shy so close. So you could see a clash for the alt orbs. You could see a situation, and G2 are predicting Crew's attempts to get one in the hands of MTA. You know, be ready to spam that with the Odin, fight that in B main.
There is a defensive pot for G2 over at A main with 3 players. A very deep 0 point, maybe to try and scout out the cross to wine.
And that's some good utility dealt with already from the Crew attacking side over at B. They break that turret that players will swing off of, that gets that contact information when you're walking up into that area of the map. They get that recon out of Trent there as well. They're going to fall off now. And G2, look, they are aware.
Yeah.
They are confident in playing towards mid, focusing towards A right now.
Same angle here for Icy. Holding that cubby spot with the operator. Unlikely to see any action here.
Line up with the 0 point. It's going to drop in.
Ult orb for MVA. He's going to go for it straight away. MTA.
Perfect catch.
Hunter's Fury shut down. What a great 0 point from G2. That's dirty from Jonah. Oh, Icy, you know you want to. Misses the smoke shot. Can't repeat the heroics of Kesnet those few rounds ago.
Right here.
And now in hell they go. No plant quite yet for Crew. G2 down to 3. The spray for Trent. Probing, searching, questing, finds nothing. Icy with the operator here. Lee starts to soften him up a little bit. Kesnet a little low. He's seen better days. 3 players for Crew embedded here on the side. And Trent strikes first. The jet is down. MTA trying to fire off from Gen. 2 players set up here, but they're both low. Melsa Smoke in his way allows him to play from the blooming outside part of it. An MTA, and Icy can only trade.
Biding his time, Melser.
Gives it a tickle. Swings the edge of that smoke, and that's Melser again!
How does he get that?
Time after time! Melser wins it out, and Crew, oh, they're gonna make this one real interesting, folks.
Never would have expected that this map would be coming down to the wire in this fashion. G2's pick, a pick in which Crew looked dismal against NRG just days ago. Playing with so much more gusto, so much more decisiveness. Oh, Melser stepping up, finding entries, finding clutches. The team looks static. Yeah, an electricity that we haven't seen from them in the first couple stages, the confidence.
They won 5 defensive rounds. Crew have had to go nuclear here on this attacking side. Then straight away they're into mid. They're going to trip that alarm bot. But here we know, G2 will work with so little. Just dregs, fumes.
Pushed up into B main right now is Leaf. One off the lockdown as is his Killjoy counterpart in Shy. Both of them away, just one orb away from that crucial ult for perhaps the final round after this one. Maybe even in this round 23, depending on the situation.
Shock timing there from Trent. Gets some good damage on MTA. 0 point threatens though, forces Crew away.
This is so good from them. That pressure in B main, it's given them the information. They know that forcing them off, it's probably going to A. Look at this rotate from G2. They are on their way to heaven already. 2Tree trying to beat them to the punch.
Straight through the smoke. Spike now loose. Kezin forced to back up. He's suppressed for a moment, but Heat's already onto the site, and Valentine expecting him to be so deep. Here comes Kezin now to follow it up from heaven. Here comes the push from G2, but Heat receives the first, is traded out. Kezin and Shy. Dynamic duo here. Have to salvage this for Crew and avoid getting thrifty.
Can Shy find the timing
surely
right now?
Discipline. Just one. Just one. Now G2 with that player advantage. Kezin has no choice but to send it.
10 seconds left.
And there are 2 Vandals headed his way.
Planted.
75 HP planted for Stairs. Playing backside. He's been the star of this series. One of the best duelists that we have in the world.
It's up to him once more, a pivotal round here. G2 looking to start to build an economy for this last push to take the map. And they're going to be doubled up. Coming downstairs, Kezin though has a feel for this. Here's them squelching through the mud. A shoulder peek, just gets a look at Trent, then tries to take the fight proper, still needs to be safe about it as Icy's going for the defuse. Does he know? Does he know? Trent brings Kezin down, and G2 take one important step forward.
What a masterful call from Valen in that mid-round. After they fought for B main, forced Shy back. A 0 point came in from Jonah. It caught no one. He was expecting after that moment, after they had to give up B main, their plans of a B split over in that moment. He knew that they were going to have to rotate towards A, beat them to the punch. The entire team got the heaven, flooded out, fought on site, stopped the plant, denied it. Fantastic from G2 in that round to convert the eco. I'm blown away by how heads up, how intelligent that was from their IGL. What a call.
Stage 2 playouts on the line, and these two are leaving it all out there. Crew have wasted no time in getting up mid. It's what they do on these saves. And here it is, Null Command. They want a fast hit towards B. Not the most original, but definitely effective. G2's defenders all fall back to the site now as a lockdown is going to be deployed by Shy. And they're going to have to sheepishly get out. They're going to cross by Heat in doing so. MTA and Heat have the timing here. They have completely unraveled G2 so far. What lockdown timing going out?
And frankly, a misplay from G2. Do you really want to stack that site against the lockdown?
They've let it go. Okay, Jonah. Okay, Jonah. Found 3-1 with an 8. The Crew have secured themselves overtime. Null Command and lockdown. Completely batters G2.
What an attack half from them overall. G2 caught in the net of that lockdown. 3 players anchoring back site when that's active. It's just disastrous. They're forced to run out. They're caught by that crossfire, by the split coming in. The excitement from Crew, something we haven't seen in weeks.
And again, they don't have to take this to map 3. They can get themselves that 2-0 dub straight to playoffs after slumping in the biggest of classic Crew manners. They may have averted it here. They have come alive. MTA with a respectable showing here on this map, on this Sova as well.
Absolutely. MTA has been playing far more solid than he had in that NRG game, beginning to find a bit of comfort on the stage, playing his role, doing what he needs to do. And again, you don't need a guy like him to be some fragging all-star coming in. You could clearly see that they've got enough of that. They just need him to be the consistent role player for them on this flex role. And he's doing that for them today. Lovely job so far on Ascent. I can't believe this has gone to OT. Coming in, I really thought this would be a clean win for G2 on their pick. Historically, a far better map for them than for Crew.
I mean, again, that was an odd round calling-wise for G2, right? Like you said, stacking aside up against the lockdown Null Command. They had to pull out and get caught in the crossfire. Completely outplayed by Crew.
Icy not going to opt for, you know, that glass cannon operator, sticking to the tried and true, the Vandal, the heavy armor. It's going to be 2 Odins, of course, in the hands of the Sovas.
Crew, big presence in mid. Are they going to smoke this or flash themselves through a mid smoke? They are contacting the middle of the map.
Just full walk down. Leaf.
Brothers just striding out into the open.
He could have a round-winning opportunity here. I mean, obviously they are ready. So common for a KJ to be in tiles in a situation like this. The 4-1 hit, so common on Ascent.
Okay, stacking the tree, and look how low Jonah P already is. Trent finished off. Kesnet strides on out, and yet Jonah P was nearsighted. Only one player left on the side, that is Icy. Somehow he needs to buy some time, and Leaf needs to get in through tree. Melsa, though, stalwart. Shuts the door in his face. More than happy just to keep this guy busy, and the kill is a bonus. Icy found one. In hell, make it 2. Kesnet, though, threatening, pressuring Icy, found 3.
Meticulous from Crew. A cascade of kills. They just come in and pick them apart one by one towards the generator. The util was lovely. The swings for each other were perfectly timed. G2 players isolated that presence in hell. The smoke came down from Melsu there to cut that angle off, which allowed them to isolate the player at Gen. Fantastic work from this rejuvenated Crew, the Crew we saw in stage 1 that we didn't see in the playoffs, that we didn't see the past 2 weeks. A Crew that frankly looked like they might not even be able to make playoffs despite having 5 wins, and now 1 round away from locking up that spot in the stage 2 playoffs.
And that was absolutely brazen from Crew. They walk up mid, no util, no nothing. Nothing but the bootstraps, and Leaf has a passive angle on tiles. He doesn't want to swing, doesn't want to check cubby, and he lets 4 players into treat from Crew. And G2 already weakened. Jonah full flash when they make that swing. You've got to call a timeout here, because now your opponents are starting to style on you. This audacity, this is so classic Crew, and G2 need to find a way to make them respect them.
And now G2, they have taken that timeout. They are going to be swapped over to the defensive side, where both teams had struggled to get rounds. It was both of them finding more success on attack, surprisingly, on Ascent. Can they step it up here in the final moment? And again, with a series win here, Crew will clinch a playoff spot. They are 1 round away from achieving that goal.
They were supposed to be headed to Shanghai. They were touted as one of America's strongest prospects at that international tournament. They don't even make it. They fall to G2 in those upper semis and then lose in the lower bracket. And that's when things get a little dicey. Now a chance to rewrite history and peak at the right time.
Icy now, operator picked up, glass cannon, angled down mid. Here, as it's Valen working his way into Wine in the overtime round.
He's there.
What a risk. Will he get caught, or will he find the timing?
4 flash. Valen chooses not to capitalize on that though. Playing safe here. Another flash. Still Valen waits.
And that might make Crew think he's not there. Also clearing! How does he win that with such low HP with Valen ready on the angle?
They still checked it. 2 flashes and they still go for it. And Valen just sat there waiting for what? We'll never know. Icy at least has a strong angle here from Heaven.
And he must even this up. He must be the man to hit the shot here.
Aldrone forces him off the angle though wide. He might have to repost. He gets there. MTA falls and then he backs away. There's a smoke in the way. But here comes Jonah. Getting involved from the side itself. The anchoring is sublime. And Melsa down to 4 after that exchange with Valor. Needs to make something happen alongside Heat. No spike plant, but their numbers are even. Crew, their destiny's in their hands.
Only 4 HP from Melsa. This shock darts. One stray Odin bullet could take him down.
And it finds him. It's just Heat in a 1v2. And G2 get one back. Are we going to run this back again?
Jonah P, that foundational element of the team, the rock for G2, backside, great anchoring. Icy, he had to get a kill on that entry. Had to. If he's forced off that angle, if the smoke comes down and they get into the site, apply all the pressure to just Jonah, and then he's forced to retake with an op, that's basically round over.
That's beautiful. That's what we needed to see from G2 to keep this game going. A cure for hypertension, hey Josh? That's the life of a coach, buddy.
4 players from G2 now gathered up towards B main. They often like to apply a lot of pressure here early. Take the control and then fall off, work the rest of the map. Play those slow attack rounds that they're known for.
Okay, been suppressed briefly here. And Leaf taking it a bit of a different approach through mid now.
And this is so cool. Just facing from Cab and facing from down mid. The turret does the work for him.
Leaf set up for turret to take contact. And again, finally, he starts to establish control of mid. Trent doesn't swing off of it. The spray is very good, though. Shy is limping away.
Surprised he didn't get that kill. It was a great opportunity for Trent. G2 are going to try to accelerate, get into the site. They will do so for free.
No one posted up at Heaven. No chance for Kesnet or someone similar to take that early push. He's going to try and spray here. Surprisingly, not very much damage. Jen protected G2 for the most part. Aldrone sees nothing. Recon backed up with a flash, hoping to ping some of these G2 players, but they're all hiding. 2 in hell, 1 behind Jen as we see Jonah look over towards that tree direction. Quick cloud burst there, but somehow Jonah falls to the shorty shot. Now Icy and Valorant can come alive though. And they've got A main covered. Decent setup for G2 in the post plant now, but it's going to be a trade. It's just Icy. He dashes onto the sides. He doesn't know where to look. Shy with a defuse and Crew again. Take the advantage.
Suddenly on the OT, it's the defensive sides that are popping off. That was about to be the most, and it still kind of was, the most Crew ascent round of all time. They love going for plays like this. Just walking down mid with one player facing Cat at the same time, and it was Shy. Pushed down, found that trade. Trent's going to be kicking himself that he didn't get the retrade onto Shy. Tagged up, had the Odin spraying through the wall. Could have gotten into the 4v3. It won't happen. And now the side swapped. Icy, again, eyes on him with that blast cannon operator. It paid off on their previous. Will it pay off again?
Just takes one sometimes. He'll be posted up in mid. A different look. Normally he takes an operator over towards tree and holds that cubby angle.
0 point. Catches out Melser in A main. And he'll be falling off. As Crew gather towards B. That turret is actually going to go down to a nice placed molly from Shy.
Aldrone in. Okay, Kesnet spotted now, trying to make his way through B main. That's going to force him to turn tail for a time. He still wants it. He wants to fight so bad. Dashes into his own cloud burst now, pushing over towards stairs. Are they going to be ready for this? Ping out the player of Powerhouse, and Icy doesn't know what hit him. Trent at least is good for the trade, though. And through the smoke, it's Lee extracting MTA. And our crew are in disarray. Down to 2. Spike was picked up at Speedway here. But they're definitely worse for wear. Shy. A gambit. Over towards the market and pays off. He's able to deal with Lincoln. He had a timing there, but he can't quite convert. The 2 versus 2. Flash over the top here. And now it's just Heat.
30 seconds left.
Fakes a couple plants, but G2 far too canny for that. They see Heat, they bring him down. We're going to head to a 29.
And that is just the difficulty of taking that B site away from Trent. He's so consistent there. That is just, it's his site. Those are his angles. He is so strong back there. Jonah does a nice job picking up that angle and spawn as soon as the smoke fades. They're so fast as a team, G2, to spill back into the sight together, fight together there.
Tooth and claw have G2 been fighting to stay in this. Always seems to be Crew defending first in this overtime, starting with that round win. MTA sees much there, as Leaf is playing pretty passively out towards B lobby.
And that Owl drone just catching the KJ really doesn't give a lot of information. It's so standard for the KJ to just monitor B main passively like that with, you know, the turret on the roof there.
Wishful thinking, gets it, actually takes a stray bullet there as he jump peeks down mid. Now G2, it's a pretty lightly held tree here. In fact, yes, he just gives it up. Doesn't want to face it on his own, falls back to the site with Melsa. Shocks, okay. Give him a bit of a tickle. Melsa no swings that left-hand side, it's going to be traded. He tries for one as well, but Leak doubles down. VALORANT has that A main position, but is concerned about a flank right now. It's Kesnet from upper and Tooth from tree here for Crew. And here's that lockdown.
It's going to force the issue.
The spray, though, it's good. MTA knew exactly where to look. Kesnet sees an arm! And G2 lose a player. Now again, they have to play from hell. This time, though, they're good for it. Shy forced to drop down to the 1 versus 2, and they are grouped up. How do you win this, Shy? Bit of spray. But the fear have gotten him. One. Can he find the second? That would have been extraordinary. But G2 convert, and VALORANT was waiting the whole time.
Never revealed himself in A main there on that split.
Match point.
A lot of mid presence shown from G2 into that A side split through the tree. Got there with no trouble at all, and Leaf stepping up with massive impact kills. It's been a quiet series for the G2 stars so far, but stepping up in one of these crucial OT rounds to find the entry and even pick off the trading anchor in this site. That's so nice from him.
This time around, Kesnet is not jump spotting mid. I imagine if we go back. Icy as well, we know him to want to play from tree. And he'll be there. Again, no glass cannon operator, very much just going for the rifle here.
And look at how active Trent is at just being this thorn in the side of anyone who wants to dare press up into B main. The Odin spam never stops. There's shocks coming in. As soon as that drone was heard, shock for the drone solo position where he stood still. But Crew, they pivot fast. They are going for the A split.
G2 look in flux right now. They're not quite sure how to set up over on A. Icy's going to be forced back by these smokes, and there's no real heaven pressure. No angle posted up for G2. So they're full retake mode right now.
This is the first OT round where Icy has actually bought a Vandal on the defensive side. It's going to be good for this retake. Much better than the North. First from Jonah.
MTA living dangerously, real dangerously there in heaven. Flash out now towards grass. Nobody from Crew shows up. We are in a post plan here. G2 do need to act. It's MTA. He can't hold it down. Leaf runs him into the ground. He wants to push up here. It's going to be Melsa and Shy. Verse 4. They've got to find the timing. That's a good one. There's still 2 players set up on Heaven and Shy trying to go for a wild swing. He gets it. Has to win this out, and he can't. G2 staying alive. Their hopes of a playoff berth still very much on the table.
Clinging on to life. Barely are G2 on their map pick. Never would have thought it would have been that damn close from Crew. Such an elevated level of play on the map from just a couple days ago against NRG. The proactivity,
the turnaround's unreal.
The decisiveness from them was just so nice to see. That turnaround, like you just said. But G2 finding their form, getting back into the swing of things after Lotus. They're able to deal with this rejuvenated Crew. An impressive win from them. That was not the Crew we have seen in the past couple weeks, in this stage.
Massive recovery, and we're in for a treat, folks. Now with playoffs here in stage 2 on the line, G2 and Crew are going to a 3rd and final map in this series. It's gonna be split, so stick around for that. It's all going down here at VCT Americas.